Yo, so I am honored to talk about this one. This is the one, along with three other songs, that helped me be a part of a stellar award-winning project for Isabell Davis, who won New Artist of the Year. This is a song called Healer that was a remake of the old CCM song. And I remember playing this for her in the studio, and she was like, "Oh my God, I love this record. Let's do it." And yeah, man, I'm gonna take you through this particular one. At this stage in my career, I was actually still engineering my own sessions, working at a studio out in this area near my home. And man, this was fun. This was really fun. And it's a great thing about this record, man. It made itself to radio without anybody even pushing it, which was incredible to me. Man, you know, when God's hand is on something, it's just on it. And I'm grateful. So I remember getting in my vehicle one day and turning it on XM, and the song was on, and I was like, "Wait, what?" And man, that just made me feel good. That never gets old to me to hear my stuff on radio. So let's talk a little bit about Healer. At this time, you know, I had no idea of what I could do for strings, uh, other than get an actual string section in to do the record. But I felt like I was well versed enough in what I wanted the strings to sound like that I actually did it myself. So I started out using a Phantom X6 for the strings. I actually like the string patches in there. Think they sound pretty good. So as you can see here on the screen, I have several different parts of the strings though, because there were a few things that I needed the strings to do that I couldn't necessarily play. So I'm gonna show you how I put it all together. So first, this is the strings from the X6. Just regular string stuff that I actually played full out. Stuff like that, and then, you know, some of the other parts. And I'm gonna play them all together in a minute so you can hear it. Right? So during the choruses, I felt like the strings needed to move more, more staccato, so that the song would move more in the chorus. So what I did was, y'all, my natural process is to start creation in Logic. I think Logic has a lot of great tools that you can use in your pre-production or your composition phase. And then I always move stuff over to Pro Tools when I get ready to track. But with Logic, there's also a lot of other stuff that's available to you, like files that have samples or loops and things of that nature. So I started searching string loops to see what they had that was close to what I needed. So there was this thing called bounty strings, and I started listening to the pattern. And of course, I had to make everything fit in the song as far as timing and keys and things of that nature. But I heard this pattern and I thought it fit perfectly. So this is the bounty strings in Logic. Right? So I thought that would be cool for a part of the chorus. So in context with the strings that I played from the Phantom, so in those spots that it didn't make sense, I went back to the Phantom to play the spots that were empty. So I'll take you back to the beginning of the sample loop and then bring it to where I actually started playing. to the end. So once we got to the end of this, there was something else I felt like it needed. I felt like it needed a string run or some type of transition from the strings to go back down into the verses again. Of course, um, me being me, I'm figuring this thing out. I could not play the string run like I wanted to. I wanted it to be more authentic sounding. So I went back to Logic again and I found this transitional string run. So I say, okay, let's see if this works. So let's go back to the end of this and let's see how it all marries together. Worked out perfectly. So as I went along, there was another part of the song that got really big during the second verse. So again, I went back. Look, at this point, I had gotten kind of addicted to it because it was working so well. So I went back and I found something else for this middle part on the second verse. So the crazy part about this is that this string sample cuts off at the top end of the run. So I was like, well, that sounds very unnatural. So what I did was I tried to mimic or play along with, like maybe in another section of the string part, to match what was going on, and then held out the last note and then faded it so it sounds like strings are playing together. They all come together at this one note and then they fade at the end. So this is how that came together. Right? And it just happened to work out, man. It worked out. It sounded great. And I'm proud of my strings. Now, would I do them again? Probably not. There's a lot of great string guys out there now that I call and work with, Carlton Hicks and some others out there. But man, Carlton Hicks is my guy right now. I've been using him pretty much on everything, and he's phenomenal at this. Y'all string guys out there are just y'all incredible. This is tedious work, but when y'all are done, it sounds great. So let's take it to the drums. So of course, with this one, we were going for more of a CCM kind of sound with the drums. Nothing really too heavy, although I do have an urban side to me. So I've been known to, in worship records, dropping 808 in certain spots for certain effects. Or if I want something to be big, like maybe at the end of a phrase or something like that. So I actually dropped an 808 in the intro of this song and at the end of the verses for certain things, and in some other spots throughout the song. So let's listen to the drums with the 808 in there. It'll all make sense once you hear the song together. Right, that's the intro. So then let's get into the song a little more so we hear more of the drums. So the cool thing about this is that I was actually tracking these drums myself, and I had a lot of things at my disposal at the studio I was working with at the time, working at the time. So I did kick in, kick out, hi hat, snare bottom, snare top, all my toms, overheads, and then I actually had a room mic that I was using just to kind of get a different picture of the drums. So this was fun to track these drums. Shout out to Jermaine Hart that played on this. One of my longtime friends played drums on this record, did a great job. The other thing that was really cool about this though is my percussion loop, I feel. What I did with this particular loop was I made this loop, but then I took and used a plugin to make the loop move during the song where it wouldn't stay just right or left. So I had it where the loop was kind of having an effect like this. Something I've never heard anybody do. It was just something I had an idea of doing, and I did it, and I thought it sounded pretty cool, so I left it in there. So let me solo out the loop so you guys can hear that. It was kind of a weird idea at first, but when it worked, I was like, yes. Let's listen to it real quick. So it was almost like taking a Rhodes effect, how a Rhodes would pan from left and right, but do that with the percussion loop. I mean, try stuff. I just tried it and I thought it was cool. I think it actually added to the song. It kind of made the drums move more since the drums were pretty straightforward. So let's hear that together. Thought that was a cool marriage there between that. So that's that. Let's move on to bass. Uh, Shout out to my boy uh, Ken that played on this record. Ken Turner, great bass player from here in the city of New Orleans. Phenomenal. Ken is really very good at what he does. You know how a lot of people say tone is in the hands? Man, the fact that this guy has really nice basses, but his tone from his hands are incredible as well. So, man, Ken is the GOAT, man. Shout out to Ken. Little bass for you. Let's go in a little further. Cool. Yeah, Ken. And then the cool thing about Ken, he has a brother that plays guitar, and they are phenomenal. So with the acoustic guitar, this particular guitar sounded so good running direct, and we didn't really want to run the risk of getting any noise from the room and other things happening because we had a room kind of full of people of the band when we were tracking this. We just ran it direct, and it came out great. So here's a little bit of that.
Man, you know what's crazy? And you know what really elevates a track? Having the right drums. And speaking of drums, if you haven't checked out Yash's Drum Warehouse yet, you're seriously missing out. We connected with John Yash, a 7-time Grammy Award winner, and we packed over 600 plus multi-sample sounds that work with any DAW and are perfectly formatted for Trick or Two. We're talking tons of snares, kicks, toms, and so much more. You name it, it's in this sample pack. So whether you're on Logic, Ableton, Pro Tools, Cubase, Bitwig, whatever you got, it's all here. It's ready to take your production to the next level. Seriously, go grab it right now. gospelproducers.com. All right, back to the show.
Cool. Let's go to electric now and hear some of the electric stuff. Man, Shemaiah is an incredible player. You'll hear it. Let's go a little bit down further in the song, and you can hear all of his guitars together in context. We got like overdrive, something clean, and then some lead parts as well. Dope. So, of course, had to have pianos and stuff. So I did something a little different with this one. I took two, which was, I mean, I was really trying to be creative on this record. So the shell of this song in its original format has this line that the piano plays throughout the entire record. So I wanted to mimic that same thing because I felt like that made the record and it made it recognizable. So I took my piano from Keyscape as I always use, and I actually was playing that back and forth throughout the whole record just to give it that same vibe. And then I played a different piano with a little different feel so that they wouldn't get in the way of each other. And this is the first one, the actual little line that I think is played throughout the entire record. So let's move on to the pianos now. So with this particular record, the song Healer has this undeniable piano thing that's happening throughout the entire song in its original format. So there's a beautiful Steinway sample that I found that's playable in Logic. And what I did was I used that to recreate that back and forth thing that the piano was doing on the original recording. So let's take a look at that real quick and let me let you hear that. And this goes on throughout the entire song. So I use that, kind of tuck that under the regular piano. So here's both pianos together throughout the song. And of course, with any worship record, you gotta have the worship pads, right? So of course, I found a really dope pad in Logic, and I wanted to use that with everything else. So I used the worship pad along with the pianos and a synth lead to kind of accent some parts throughout the song. So let's listen to all of that in context real quick. So let's listen to these keys. And now we can get to the vocals. So again, I always like to use 3 singers in the studio and stack them because I always seem to get exactly what I need. So let's go to the BGVs first and listen to them. They sounded incredible on this record, man. It's like, again, these guys and girls can sing pretty much anything. So they gave me exactly what I was looking for on this record. They blended very well together. We only did really 4 stacks on this. I didn't want the BGVs to be too big. Wanted them kind of stay in that group form more than choir. So usually when I do that, I'm like 4 to 6 stacks. Nothing more than 6, nothing less than 4. So let's listen to the BGVs real quick.
I believe you're my healer. I believe you are all I need. I believe you're my portion. I believe you're more than enough for me. Jesus, you're all I need.
Man, they sound incredible, man. Shout out to Vernon Bird, Joy Love, and Rayon Ramsey on this record. They did an amazing job, as always. So that's pretty much the record in a nutshell.
Y'all, want to thank you for making it to the end of this clip. We appreciate you watching this breakdown. If you want to see more videos like this, please feel free to check out the links right over here. If you want to take your production, mixing, or whatever to the next level, or check out some of the other products that we have, make sure you check the links down in the description and in the comment section of this video. All right, I appreciate you guys. We'll see y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace.